It's my birthday, my birthday. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching my videos. It's very, very appreciated, and you want to know what I would appreciate just a little bit more? Doing something that is, well, free. Doesn't cost you anything to join the membership on this channel. All you have to do is click the subscribe button below and click the bell for notifications on when new content drops. Something that I greatly appreciate, and again, it's free. There's very few things left in this world that are free. This is free, and all you have to do is just click that subscribe button. So please go down below and just click that subscribe button. Just really, really helps me out. Also, if you enjoy this video, share this with your running buddies. Really appreciate that as well. And if you wouldn't mind giving this video a thumbs up, just allows us to reach a much broader audience. But it's all thanks to you guys out there. So this video, little different. This is kind of a tech video. It's been a long time since I've done a tech video. If you remember, or if you've been a part of my channel since the beginning, I did cell phone reviews way back. So this time, it's still running related, but we're gonna talk about smartwatches. All right, and I have two here today. Unfortunately, I don't have like a plethora of smartwatches that I can go and test out, but I do have two right here, and they kind of hit the basis of really what the two that you're going to be looking for out on the market. So here we have the Apple Watch SE, and then we also have the Garmin 245 smartwatch right here. It's the Forerunner 245 right here. It's not the music or anything, and we'll get into that here in just a second. But I wanted to do this video because these are going to be very popular for people getting into running. You want to document your runs, and what are some of the best ways that you can do that by having a smartwatch on you. Now, both have their pros and cons, and I'm going to kind of discuss the things that I like about either one of these type of running watches. Now, I do have the Garmin here, which is a representation of other brands such as Coros and Polar as well, because a lot of the features kind of remain the same. But then you go to a smartwatch, the particular smartwatch like these that are based on cell phone companies, so like Apple, Samsung, I guess Google makes it, which is really just made by Motorola, but the Pixel Watch is made by Motorola. But these are more like a cell phone on your wrist. So we're going to kind of get into a few things about these shoes and how they, or shoes, about these watches and how they can benefit you on your run. So first I'm going to get into the Garmin because these are incredibly popular. You can get these at a pretty good price, and they do a very good job at what they're supposed to do. Now, if you go with Garmin, I think Polar as well, you can download to the watch different training programs. So if you want to do a 5K, a 10K, a half marathon type of program, you can download those training runs to your watch, and basically they're preset. So they'll give you, like, say you're supposed to do an interval session this day, it'll do a 400 meter repeat 5 times with a warm up and a cool down and all that kind of stuff. And that's just kind of something that you can download to the watch, and it's all basically controlled through your cell phone by downloading the Garmin Connect app, where you can download all of those different training programs to the watch. The GPS accuracy between the two, I would definitely say the GPS accuracy between a Apple Watch and the Garmin, I would say the Garmin has it a little bit in the bag better, because when I've taken these on similar runs, the Garmin actually reads that I'm getting a proper mileage on it. So for instance, today I did a 7-mile run. The 7-mile run in this watch basically puts me down at the end of my street, where this one will take me all the way to the opposite end of the street. So basically a quarter-mile difference between these two watches over that 7-mile distance. So it feels like the accuracy on this, because I actually believe that a little bit better, that the accuracy on the Garmin is a little bit better than the accuracy that is on the Apple Watch. Now, my Apple Watch does have cellular service, so it is also using cell phone towers to generate my exact location as well. But it feels like the Garmin is a little bit better. It also keeps track of my pace a little bit better. I also like the Garmin in the fact that you can do zone training with this. So that means keeping your heart rate within a certain zone, and it'll basically, beep at you to let you know, hey, you're going too fast or you're going too hard, you need to slow it down a little bit. I like that kind of feature on here that I just don't seem to have with the Apple Watch. But overall, the positives for it is I think it's a little bit more accurate. I think it's a little bit more intuitive, like fine-tuned for running. So the heart rate monitoring, I think, is just a little bit better. It also calculates your sleep patterns and all that kind of stuff. So I think this does a really good job at trying to help you become a better runner. Now, that's not to say that the Apple Watch isn't going to do that for you. The positive for the Apple Watch is you can use different applications through the Apple Watch. So if you like to use Strava, you can use Strava, you can use Nike Run Club, you can use ASICS Runkeeper, Adidas, whatever, Adi something program, Puma has a run program for it. You can put all of those on the Apple Watch and run through those specific programs. Now, I tend to use Nike Run Club if I'm using this watch, and which this you can download direct to the watch. Sometimes you don't have to pull out your phone and do it through your phone. You can just do it straight through the watch, where you can download the guided runs from the Nike running head coaching and all that kind of stuff to the watch. The downside is when you're doing like your intervals, it's all based on time. It's not based on a distance. So what they'll do is they'll do, say you do your warm up, you'll do a 5-minute warm up, pause you, tell you that you need to, do some stretches, all that kind of stuff. And then it'll do, say, a 5-minute interval. So it'll be 5 minutes, and then you'll get a 1.5-minute break, and then 5 minutes and a 1.5-minute break. So it's not based on distance, it's just based on time. That's how all of the intervals work with at least Nike Run Club. I'm not exactly sure on Strava. I haven't signed up for Strava's premium service because, again, I'm all about being free. Again, hit the subscribe below if you haven't done so already. But that's something that I did I liked about this, because I like listening to the guided runs. I like listening to the Nike head coach. In fact, when I've gone on my multiple half marathons, I tend to turn on the guided run from the Nike head coach, Coach Bennett, with the program. And I kind of like listening to him, because listening to him as I'm running, he checks in from time to time and he makes sure that he goes through like a process with you. So I kind of like that feature. That's something you don't get on the Garmin. But I still think it has its pros, which is that it's a little bit more like a smartphone that has more capabilities than a Garmin Forerunner or something that's a very specific running watch. But at the downside, I don't think the accuracy is as good. It can't monitor as many metrics as the Garmin can. There's just some drawbacks to it when you're talking about it. And the reason I'm doing these is because the price point is very similar to each other. They both come in at, I think, like $199 or $200 or $250 or something like that. So they're priced very similarly to each other. Now, because this has cell phone service, I think there's a lot of positives there for safety. Now, if something happens, I can make a phone call from my watch. I don't have to have my cell phone on me. I can, receive calls and text messages while I'm on the run. I also have the ability to stream music from Pandora or Spotify or whatever straight through my watch. I don't have to, download anything, or in the case of my Garmin 245, because it's not the 245 music, I don't have the ability to put music on my Garmin watch. So there are some advantages to this. Podcasts I can listen to, all that kind of stuff, which really helps on my long runs. So there are some positives to this, but to me, as far as running and documenting the running, I actually prefer the Garmin watch over the Apple Watch. The other thing is, if you're using the Garmin watch or Polar or Coros, their programs, the Coros program, or I'm going to say in this case because it's Garmin Connect also connects up to all of the other programs. So it connects with Nike Run Club, it connects with Strava, it connects with the ASICS app, all of the different apps. So you can do one run and it'll automatically populate itself into all of your different social applications, so people can see where you ran, or maybe you got a challenge going on one app. That I think is the positive of going with something like this, or Coros or Polar, is just because it has the ability to communicate that data across all different platforms, where with this, if you're using Nike Run Club, it cannot populate over into Strava automatically. You have to manually populate data over, which means the mapping and everything doesn't move over into Strava. It doesn't move over into ASICS or any of the other applications. So if you start it on here, it stays on that one application. Now, if you use the Apple software that's built in it, the Apple Fitness software, again, you can upload it to Strava, but if you use, like me, you use Nike Run Club, it's not going to auto-populate into Nike Run Club. So unfortunately, it's kind of like you've got to focus on using one application and that's it, where this one can cross into all the different applications, populate all of the data into all the different applications across the board, and it just seems to work a little bit better for me. But at the end of the day, it's really up to you. They both have their positives, they both have their negatives. If you own one of these watches, whether it's Apple Watch, the Samsung, the Galaxy Watch, the new one from Google, or if you have a Garmin Coros, Polar, or whichever, Sunto I think is another one. If you have one of these watches, if you use both, which one do you prefer? If you have one of these, what are your experiences with them? Because anybody watching this video probably want to look in the comment section and see what you guys are dealing with out there on your runs. So with that being said, I'm going to close out this video, guys. Thank you for watching. I think that these watches are important for any type of runner, whether you're a beginner or a professional. I think having these watches to calculate your data is important, so you can always look back and see your progress that you're making. Always trust the process, guys. And also, never pay full price for running gear. Never. Always check for sales. Guys, thank you again for watching. I appreciate it. Click that subscribe button, thumbs up, all that stuff. I'll see you next time. I'm going to go enjoy my birthday. Thank you for watching.